Good morning and welcome to Lifestyle Matters. I'm your host, Blake Buck, and today I am joined by Stephanie Ziegler, Senior Financial Investigations Manager at SELCO Community Credit Union. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
We're going to talk about scams. It's happens more in the spring and summertime. What are some of the most common scams that we've seen in our community?
Right now, a lot of what we're seeing is impersonation scams, and people can have these come into their lives in a lot of different ways. That may be an email or a text message claiming to be from a company that you normally would work with. I think everyone right now is seeing especially a surge in text messages, like claiming that you have a package that couldn't be delivered, or a toll maybe that you're late on paying, or claiming to be from your financial institution. And the goal of all of those is to try and get you to believe that you're working with a legitimate company who is then going to ask for your information or maybe your credentials, and then use that information to impersonate you and potentially do transactions or open financial accounts.
With everything online nowadays, who are scammers targeting and why?
So anybody can be a victim of a scam. And you can really see it across generations and different stages of life. You have like teenagers and young adults who are very comfortable online, who are used to having global friendships and interacting with people they've never met. And so that gives a sense of comfort when they're interacting with someone that isn't in person. You may also have like an older adult or somebody who maybe is going through loss or experiencing grief, where they have someone try to develop a new relationship with them, and they make an emotional connection that then leads to them getting scammed in the future.
And what are like the top 3 tips that people can look out for to avoid being scammed?
So the number one thing would be to use caution. Like always take a step back. Frequently, fraudsters will try and use either urgency or emotion to try and get you to do something that you normally wouldn't do if you had more time to think about it. They'll give you a tight deadline, or they'll develop that emotional connection and say, if you left me, you would do this. And so really take a second to think, does this make sense for the situation? Is this request really something that a business would ask of me or someone who cared about me? Would they really want me to do this?
Okay. And, for someone that might have already given their information out and they realize after the fact, oh, I think that could have been a scam, what is the next step that they can take?
So if you've given your information out, the number one thing is to let your financial institution know as soon as possible. The fraudster is going to hope that you're embarrassed by that you don't want to admit that something has happened. And the longer they have that information, the more damage they can do. So definitely notify the authorities and your financial institution right away.
Okay. And also with the resurgence of it, or not the resurgence, also with AI being so popular right now, have you seen any kind of trends with AI and people reaching out that way to get, information?
Sure. AI can impact fraud in a couple different ways. One kind of emerging trend is the use of like deep fakes for voices. So you may like get a call from someone claiming to be a family member who's like had an emergency and needs help, when in reality it's not them. It's just someone impersonating their voice. Fraudsters are also using AI to really clean up their like written communications. And so it used to be kind of easy to spot fake texts or emails with typos and incomplete sentences. And now it's looking a lot more professional due to the AI tools that are out there.
And is there somewhere where the community can go to find trusted information about, scams and what they can do?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of different resources. Your financial institution will probably have some sort of security center where they have articles. You can sign up for fraud alerts. The government also has a website, ic3.gov, that is a great resource for scam victims. There's form letters. You can report if you've been the victim of a scam, and it can kind of walk you through like who you need to contact if this has happened, depending on the severity of the situation.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Stephanie. That was all great information. Everyone needs to be on the lookout now for scams. They can come in many forms, as you mentioned, deep fakes, voice recordings. They can do emails, text messages, and just make sure that you're really staying on top of things and take a moment before you send over that personal information.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'm your host, Blake Buck. We'll see you again next time.